Selling season is upon us, and is it going to be bust or boom? Well, there is a recent article in Housing Wire that is actually showing that mortgage spreads are at the best they've been since 2023. Now, those of you that don't know real quick what a mortgage spread is really basically what the extra premium is that they're going to charge in an interest rate because of the higher risk, the volatility of the stocks, the bonds market, right? And so now that is actually compressed, and they're starting to see a trend where this is going to potentially lower interest rates, increasing demand. What do you think, Noah?
Well, we always love to hear a good lowering of interest rates, right? So, I think it's a great sign. I think a lot of homeowners right now are concerned with selling because if you sell, where are you going to go? It's hard to give up those, sub 3% interest rates that we see a lot of homeowners holding on to. And so even if we see fluctuations in housing prices or homeowners with large equity positions, that's something that's really hard to give up, right?
Yeah, there is a lot of people with a lot of large equity positions right now, right? So that's awesome. So let me kind of take a step back and segue into our guest here today. So first of all, you want to wish Jason and Kayla a happy 25th wedding anniversary, right? I think that's the silver. They're out having a good time. So they're going to be gone here for a couple of days. But again, happy anniversary, guys, and miss you, see you soon. So that is why Noah is on with us today, and I'm actually really stoked to have Noah today because it has everything to do with what we're talking about, is where, hey, selling season is upon us, and there's been a whole lot of people being like, hey, are we going to have a selling season this year? And the reality of it is inventory is high, sales are lower than what they typically are, right? Like as far as like pendings and those types of things. However, what this is showing is that mortgage applications are up. So fast tracking us, what I want to dive into real quick and why I'm so stoked to have Noah on today is we have created here at Zoodealio what we call the seller score. And Noah, why don't you just kind of share with us what the seller score is, what it is, how it works, give us the 411.
Yeah, great. So, let's just go into first of all, why we made a seller scoring system, right? So as Elliot mentioned, when we're seeing homeowners with large equity positions, we're seeing changes in interest rates when we're getting into things like a selling season. One of the most beneficial things that you can have in the real estate space right now is a way to filter out and find those homeowners who are ready to possibly make a move, buy, things of that sort. And that's really what the seller score comes down to, right? We're looking at internal markers and flags based on a variety of data points, engagements with the Zoodealio platform, and more to help find those sellers who are ready to potentially make that move.
So when you say like engagements, that's almost kind of like their digital body language, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're looking at things like, are they looking at offers in the Zoodealio dashboard? Are they engaging with the home report? If they are engaging with the home report, how long are they looking at certain containers? What is the information in those containers? Are they looking at potentially renting their home? Are they looking at their equity position constantly? Are they looking at sales trends in their areas? Are they potentially looking at sales trends in other markets? Could that be a flag that maybe they're looking at moving, for a job potentially? So those are all things that, of course, we already track, and agents can already view that information in our platform. And this is just adding an extra layer to help really drill down and kind of sort out those sellers that are showing that interest without having to really do that process manually.
Love it. So summing that up, we're able to essentially capture events, data, i.e. they've lived in their house for, 10, 15 years. That already a lot of times is going to make them more likely to move and have that itch. And then now we're able to actually verify their score or their likeliness to move because we're now capturing online actions and then reporting that back to the agent so they know who they should focus on.
Yeah, exactly right.
Perfect. Man, I'll tell you what, I love what we've created here just because, again, being in the game for, almost 20 years now, these are the things that, man, I would have loved to have it when I was every day practicing.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. I will say as soon as you start seeing it in action with when you start getting the 100, 200 plus home sellers and you have that scoring system, it's just a game changer. It saves so much time. It gives you the footing you need to go off of when opening a conversation with the seller. It's just a game changer. We've been, of course, using it internally and testing things out before we ship it out to all of our agents. And yeah, it's amazing.
Love it. Love it. So, well, is there anything else that you think that they need to know and digest before we jump for the day?
I think the one thing I'll have on there that to kind of close things out is, we did mention, the selling season is upon us and it's not as hot as we're all used to. But at the end of the day, there's always people that are selling, and it's just about finding them where they're at.
Great point. Go out there and get your unfair share. Use tools and systems, right? Like that statement of the sharpest knife will cut the deepest, right? In this, you use that sharp knife to cut the deepest and get your unfair share out there. Thanks for tuning in to the daily Zoodealio. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you are alerted every time we drop a new episode.